Ain't nobody messing with my queens, listen up. You ain't gotta love me, cause I love me. Put a hand up if you in the trenches building confidence, and put a hand up if you need some mending for your heart that's healing. Salute, say you in attendance, this army's relentless. A weekly dose of motivation, give me your attention. This is for all the queens going heal by any means. They chasing our self-esteem, it's not as hard as it seems. Go, go, go queen, go. Ain't nobody messing with my queens, listen up.
Welcome to the All Queens Army podcast. It's your girl, your host, Coach Breezy. I am here today with another dope episode for the queens. Yes, honey, it's another beautiful motivational Monday, and I cannot wait to jump into today's topic. I am super excited to talk to you guys, as always, because you guys know that you are always in my heart. I love the queens so much. Oh, yes, I do. So today, I want to take a moment to say thank you guys so much, because All Queens Army continues to grow, even more downloads every single week, every single month. Oh my God. Like, y'all love me? Y'all really do? Well, guess what? I love y'all more. Let's talk about what today's topic is, because it's a good one. So today we're going to be talking about the tools that you need for a strong relationship, okay? And the reason that I want to talk about strong relationships is because I personally feel that nowadays, good, strong, loving, deep bonded relationships just seem to be catching a bad rap right now. And I don't know why that is, but it just seems like so many people have lost faith in love. Like they've lost faith in the beauty of a great, loving, deep bonded relationship. And it actually makes me sad to see so many people feel so negatively about love and relationships, okay? Because love and relationships are just such a beautiful thing. Listen, guys, I know that love and relationships can be very challenging. I know that they can be very confusing. I know that it can be super duper frustrating when you're going through the problem side of it, when you're going through the growth side of it, because that's what I call problems. I call it growth and opportunity. When you're on the growth and opportunity side of love and relationships, baby, it's frustrating. I know, honey, I've been there. And let me be clear and say this to you guys. When you are in a loving, deep bonded relationship, it's still all about growth. Growth is just something that is always going to present itself in our lives. It doesn't matter how successful you are. It doesn't matter where you get to in life. It doesn't matter how high you evolve, and no matter how much you've advanced. You're always going to be presented with opportunities to grow and to learn and to evolve and to challenge your limitations and to challenge your perspective. You are always going to be challenged. So it doesn't matter if your energy is vibrating at a place where you are having a hard time getting into and maintaining the loving relationship that you want. It doesn't matter if you're on that side or if you're on the side where you're in the relationship, you're still going to be challenged and going to be pushed to grow and to see past where you are today, okay? So I just wanted to throw that out there. What we're going to do first is I have a couple really quick announcements, and then we are going to dive into today's topic, y'all. Okay, so really quick announcements, okay? I promise they're going to be so fast, okay? Real quick. All right, on Thursdays, the All Queens Army blog is still dropping. Make sure you go to the website and check it out. Okay, so next is the life coaching program. I created that coaching program for anyone who needs one-on-one assistance for any issues, any challenges, anything that you need to work on, that you have a specific thing that you want to talk about and you want to overcome. You can actually enroll in one of those programs and we can work together directly one-on-one, so you can check those out. There are a couple packages out there. Choose the one that fits your needs, your situation, and we can absolutely work together, okay? All right, we also have the ebook. Don't forget, guys, to go to the website and download the ebook. It's called How to Create Boundaries and Stand Up for Yourself. That ebook is very, very good. If I could say so myself, it is so good, y'all. It's so good, okay? Let me tell y'all why. It's so good because it gives you step-by-step instructions on how to create boundaries, but more importantly, how to enforce them, and then how to stand up for yourself. That is very important. That is also free, and it's available on the website. So you can go to allqueensarmy.com and download that, okay? Last but not least, of course, queens, please make sure you subscribe to the All Queens Army podcast. You can do that by going to allqueensarmy.com, click on the subscribe tab. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Amazon's Audible app, Google Podcasts, and Facebook. Okay, queens, let's go ahead and jump into this topic. Let's get knee deep in it. I mean, waist deep, whatever deep. I don't know how deep y'all want to go with me today. But anyway, let's get into it, all right? Okay, so today's topic, tools needed for a relationship. Okay, now I'm from Baltimore, so I wonder if tools sounds crazy. Do I say it right? Tools? 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 How the hell do y'all say tools? I don't know. Tools needed for a relationship. Tools like a toolbox, like a toolkit. Y'all get it? Okay. Anyway. Okay. Tools needed for a strong relationship is what we're talking about today. And like I said in the beginning, guys, one of the reasons that I wanted to talk about this topic today is because, in my opinion, TV and social media have completely distorted people's perception and expectations of strong relationships. It's just my opinion. I just feel like the way that we perceive a strong, healthy relationship and what's required and how it looks and how it feels, in my opinion, what we see on TV and what we see on social media is all some bullshit. I don't care what nobody says. It's some bullshit. It's distorted and it's not realistic. That is just my opinion and I'm sticking to it, okay? I feel like relationships and love get so romanticized that when people start looking into their own lives, they have this expectation of what it's supposed to look like based on what they see on TV, based on some fictional ass characters, and based on some fictional ass relationships where you're getting piecemealed people's happy lives, right? And so what happens is we see romantic movies and we see stuff on television and we see our favorite couples on YouTube and on social media and stuff like that. We wind up perceiving their lives based on what they're sharing with us. It's just like TV. We perceive love and happiness and emotions based on fictional characters that we're watching on television. And so what people do is they make these assumptions that that's how it's supposed to feel, that that's how it's supposed to look, that that's how it's supposed to work, especially for generations of kids who are not growing up in households where they see their parents in relationships. When you grow up in a household where your mom is single or your dad is single, you may not be able to see the people that you look up to as you're growing up, experiencing love. So your perception of love starts to be built and created by what you're seeing on television and what you're seeing on social media. And to me, it distorts it. Again, just my opinion. Additionally, I feel like so many people have given committed relationships and marriages a bad rap. I mean, just so much disrespectful behavior, diminishing the value and the beauty of love, okay? And I just want to counter those negative thoughts and perceptions and let you all know that strong relationships not only exist, but they're possible for you. And so very beautiful, y'all. So very beautiful to experience with the right person. And that's the key. But here's the thing. In order for you to ultimately end up with the right person, your ability to attract and maintain a relationship with a person that you would be able to grow old with to build a strong, lasting, loving relationship requires that you have some relationship dependable tools that you know how to utilize, all right? That's the bottom line. Relationships and love does not come prepackaged perfectly, where all you have to do is just open the box and there it is and get in it and that's it. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of effort. There's a lot of things that you need to do. A relationship is a thing that's constantly growing. It's a living thing. It's a real thing. You have to feed it. You have to nurture it. You have to have the time and the patience to take care of it properly. So what that requires is when you enter into the relationship that you have to have certain tools so that you can nurture it, so that you can help it grow, so that you can continue to feed it and to help it elevate and to help it evolve. You actually have to have certain tools to be able to do that. So that's what we're going to talk about today, okay? Now keep in mind, these tools should be equally used by both parties in the relationship. So I don't want y'all out there talking about, well, Coach Breezy, we always talking about what the women need to do, but what the men need to do. I'm talking about what everybody needs to do. I didn't say that this conversation was specifically for women. I just said tools you need for a strong relationship, period. So everybody needs these tools. Everybody, kings, queens, everybody, we all need these tools, okay? So here we go with tool number one. The first tool in the toolbox is communication and listening. Y'all, we have to be able to communicate and we have to be able to listen. We have to be willing to get in there and talk. Talking and communicating actually means that you are going to have a level of vulnerability because that's what you're talking about. You're talking about how you feel. You're talking about what you need. You're talking about what you did. You're being transparent. You're sharing who you are. You're sharing your expectations. You're sharing your love. You're communicating what you need. You're communicating how you feel. You're talking to the person. You're letting them into your life. You're being open. You're willing to let someone in. Communication does all of that. Communication is the vehicle into all of that. You have to be willing to communicate. So many people get so impatient with the communication part. But I'm telling y'all, communication is the foundation of the relationship. If you don't have communication, maybe it's because you guys are so used to sweeping your issues under the rug. Maybe it's because you feel uncomfortable talking. Maybe it's because in the house you grew up in, you got chastised for talking too much, right? Or talking at all. Or your feelings weren't validated or it wasn't celebrated or acceptable for you to open your mouth and for you to talk. It's so interesting to me how families are, especially Black families, y'all. Sometimes the Black families be doing some toxic ass shit. And I'm pretty sure our parents didn't intend for it to be toxic. I mean, they didn't know. All they knew is what they was taught. But some of the things that we learned as kids is toxic as fuck. So I was talking to my mom and my aunts a couple of months ago, and I was questioning to them why it is that they have such a hard time talking about their problems. Like, why do y'all have a hard time? Why is it difficult for you to tell your sister that she pissed you off? Why do you like bottle that up for years and years and fucking years? Like, what is that? And my oldest aunt said, well, when we were kids, we were taught to shut up and stay in a child's place. We weren't allowed to voice our opinions. We weren't allowed to talk. It was looked down on. It was frowned upon. And she was like, I guess I just never really learned how to talk because I wasn't allowed to. And that shit hit me, y'all. I was like, damn, that's crazy. But understand that some of us, some of the people you know, some of the people that you're trying to get in a relationship with or you're in the process of getting to know were raised by people that happened to. Think about that. A lot of us lack general communication skills. We do not know how to talk. We don't really know how to even get in touch with our own feelings and what's going on deep down inside of us, enough so to share that shit with someone. We don't even know how to get in touch with it enough so that we can let people in. So many of us deal with ourselves at the surface level. We don't even go deeper than surface to talk about what we experience and who we are and what we feel. All of those things will be challenged if you're trying to enter a loving, deep bonded relationship. A lot of times those things will be challenged. The universe is going to challenge you. Until you learn how to open up and communicate, I'm telling you guys, it is so very, very important. It is the foundation of the relationship. And again, listening is actually more important than talking. That's why you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Y'all, I heard that like 4 years ago and it blew my socks off. And I've been waiting for 4 years to like say that. I'm so pumped. Yes. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, okay? Double your listening, okay? Listen to people. The reason that listening is more important than talking is because when you're having a conversation with someone, it's very important to listen to what they're saying. Otherwise, you're not having a conversation. You're not communicating at all. You're just talking. And talking and communicating are 2 different things. A lot of people confuse communicating and talking. Some people think because they're talking that they're communicating. You're not. You're only communicating if you're actually listening. You have to participate in the conversation by receiving and giving. You can't just give. You got to do both. If all you're doing in the conversation is giving, then all you really care about is you getting what you need out of the situation or out of the relationship. It's very selfish. It's very one-sided. And I'm telling you, you will not attract or be able to keep a lasting, deep bonded, loving, strong relationship if you're one-sided. Okay. So it's not about talking. A lot of people talk. I'm talking right now. Everybody talks and talks and talks and goddamn talks. But who is listening? Listening is the other half of the communication equation. You have to talk and listen. And listening is not being quiet while the other person is talking and waiting your turn. That's not listening. Listening is actively engaging in what the person is saying and giving a damn. That's listening. I'm gonna move on because I feel like I'm about to get on my pulpit, and I said I wasn't bopping nobody over the head today, okay? So we're moving on. I think I have beat that one to death. Y'all get the point, right? Okay, moving on. Here's the second tool in the toolbox for a strong relationship. And this one, everybody's going to agree with, and that's honesty and trust. Yes, honesty and trust are so very, very important for very obvious reasons. I'm not going to go super deep into honesty and trust because we all know exactly what honesty and trust is. But here's what I will say about honesty and trust, okay? A lot of people have expectations for their partner or the person that they're dating or entertaining to be honest with them and to trust them. But let me just say this. If you want someone to trust you, you need to be trustworthy. If you want someone to be honest with you, you need to be honest with them. And it's not acceptable, nor is it okay, to only be honest and trustworthy about the important things, about the big things. You have to be honest and trustworthy about the little things too. The small little details too. The little white lies, the little small things that you choose not to share, the omissions. Yeah, those things actually can create trust issues. Those things can be viewed as a lack of honesty, period. And a lot of people don't want to accept that. A lot of people don't want to acknowledge that. They think that, well, I don't cheat. Well, if you're a big flirt and you're always making people feel comfortable like they can flirt with you, or you're always making people feel comfortable like they can say inappropriate shit to you, then you are not trustworthy. Period. Point blank. I don't care what anybody says. Your energy is what allows and initiates and welcomes certain behavior. If men or women feel comfortable enough disrespecting your partner, I don't care whether the partner is there or not. If someone feels comfortable enough disrespecting your partner or stepping over boundaries of what's acceptable for a person that's in a committed relationship, then it's you who's giving off the energy that it's okay. Period. Just because you're not cheating physically, just because you have not tangibly crossed the line, doesn't mean that you are trustworthy. And I just want to throw that out there because I see a lot of ladies play games like that, right? You play games like that because you like the attention that you get. You want your ego stroked. And I'm just telling you right now, if you cannot create your energy to be solid enough that a man, a real man or a real woman who's solid, who ain't playing, who wants your ass and wants your stinky drawers, if that man or woman cannot feel comfortable with you, if that person cannot give you their heart 100% and know with all certainty that your integrity cannot be rocked, then don't expect to get that in return. That's all I'm saying, y'all. Okay? So honesty and trust is way deeper than just some surface level shit. Y'all have to really go deep into yourself and check the way you do things and check the way you engage with other people. Check the way you key and play with other people. Because see, in my marriage, I don't play that kind of shit. Now, I'm not no ugly girl, but I don't have a ton of men who flirt with me. I don't have that, even when my husband is not around. I just don't attract that kind of energy because that's not what I'm giving off. I'm not giving off no key bullshit. I don't do that. You know why? Because I cannot tolerate it being done back to me. So I don't do it. I don't make people feel comfortable that they can flirt with me whether my husband is around or not. I just don't. That's just me. Okay? I mean, y'all can do what y'all want. You know what I mean? But that's just me. Okay. Here's the next one. I said I wasn't going to beat that one to death. And geez, I just can't be regular. Like, I always gotta go to 10 and be on the 10th power of the motivation. I can't be on level 2 motivation. I always gotta be level 22 motivation. Okay, anyway, y'all, here's the next one. The third tool in the strong relationship toolbox, okay? And that is commitment. We all know what commitment is. Maybe we all have a different definition of commitment. Let me explain to you guys my definition of commitment and what I mean by commitment. When I say commitment is the third tool in the toolbox, commitment to me means that you continue to do something that you committed to doing, even when, and especially when you don't feel like it, when it's inconvenient, when you're tired, when you're irritable, when you just ain't in the mood, when I don't like you today, when my left nipple itches, for whatever reason, right? Because it's Tuesday at 2 p.m. and I just don't feel like it. With all of that, even still, commitment is doing what you said you were going to do, sticking with it no matter what. It is the true definition of planting your flag and saying, this is it for me. This is what I'm going to do. Come hell or high water, I'm doing this. To me, that is commitment. Period. Commitment is, I'm still going to love you and do right by you, honor you, respect you, cherish you, be faithful to you, and do the right thing by you, no matter how pissed I am today, no matter how ugly you are today. That's commitment. See, a lot of people lack commitment. That's why so many people find it difficult to attract a good, long, strong relationship, because you're not committed. Lots of people love with conditions. If you do this, then I'll do that. If you behave that way, then I'll behave this way. We're also reactive. To me, that's like letting somebody else control who I am. If you give me your attitude, I'm going to give you my attitude. Huh? Look, if my husband give me his attitude, sometimes I just ignore his ass and I keep it pushing. Everything that he does, I don't need to have a response or a reaction to in equal measure. Do we really want to live our lives and say, well, if this person acts this way, then I'll act that way? What about you act the way you're going to act based on who the fuck you are and what you want to do? Why you got to react to what somebody else is doing? I don't get that. I don't want to live like that. That's how y'all want to live? And I'm speaking just from high levels of commitment. I'm not talking about small, minute, little teeny, baby, petty, little bitty shitty things. I'm talking about real levels of commitment. Like, are you really willing to plant your flag and say, this is the person that I love, this is the relationship that I'm in, and I'm going to hang in there and stick with this situation come hell or high water? Are we really making that commitment? Or is the commitment, I will do that as long as you blah, blah, blah? See, if you put the as long as you blah, blah, blah or a but after it, then you're not really committed. Think about that. Just think about it. Y'all might disagree right now, but I'm telling you, just think about it. Think about it in terms of what you attract. If you pray to God or you ask the universe to give you a blessing and you say, you know what, God or universe, I want a relationship with a man who does X and Y and Z. But here's the thing, if he do A, B, and C, then I'm not going to be willing to be being his wife. You don't say all that when you pray or when you talk to the universe. You put a period at the end of the sentence. Hey, God, hey, universe, this is what I want, period. I want a person who makes me feel this way, who's loyal, who's this, who's that, who's so on and so on and so on. Whatever the so on is on your list. I don't know what so on is, but that's how I came out and I'm going to go with it. Whatever it is that you want. When you pray and talk to God or meditate, or like I said, put it out in the universe to manifest whatever it is that you believe, whatever your religion or your spirituality is. When you do that and you ask for what you want, you don't ask with the comma at the end. You don't do all that and say, well, but if this, that. No, you ask for what you want and you put a period at the end of the sentence. God, this is what I want. Universe, this is what I want to manifest. That's it. So why is it that when you come up against the potential partner or the potential blessing, whatever it is, why is it that as soon as it manifests in the physical realm in your life, then you start putting a whole bunch of conditions on it? Well, I'll be vulnerable to you if you do this. No, just be willing to be vulnerable, period. Be willing to commit to the right situation, period. Not if, not but, not maybe, no comma. Just be willing. When you go out into the universe, set the intention. This is what I'm going to do, period. I promise you, you won't even have to put buts at the end of the sentence. You won't have to make conditions of, well, I'm not going to do it if this person act this way. Well, I'm not going to be vulnerable, or I'm not going to open up my heart if the person do that. You don't have to do that if you stop saying if. When you lead yourself into the universe with the intention to commit 100%, when it is God's sent person to you, you won't get the person that you have to say but about. I promise y'all, it's how you manifest. But when you real shaky and you on the fence, I'm going to do it if, I'm going to do it but, I'm going to do it when, it don't come because you're not saying it with confidence and commitment. All right, I'm going to move on because I'm going on and on. Okay, I'm going to move on. Okay, here's the next tool, okay? Your ability to compromise, take accountability, and apologize. Very straightforward. You have to be willing to compromise. You have to be willing to give up some things sometime. You have to. Remember, relationships are give and take. They are give and take. Sometimes you give, sometimes you take. It's a dance. Sometimes you step back, let the person step up. Sometimes you step up, let the person step back. It's a compromise. You are partners with this person. They are your partner in life. Y'all are tag teams. And sometimes y'all double in the ring together. It's just what it is, but you got to learn how to do the dance. You got to learn how to compromise, okay? Also, the taking accountability, very important, guys, because relationships need your vulnerability. They need your ability to be able to say, I'm sorry, to be able to apologize, to be able to take ownership of your shit. Okay, your partner cannot take ownership of your shit because they can't work on your stuff. Only you can do that. And the same for them. They have to be accountable. Y'all got to work together. You're not opponents. You're working together. Again, we're speaking about you being with the right person. We're not talking about you being with the wrong person. I don't want to hear any buts, but this is what happens. You ain't with the right person when you got to say a but, period. All right, next. You want to have the intention and the effort. You have to build your relationship with intention intention. You have to wake up every day with the intention to nourish your relationship. And I want to say this goes beyond romantic relationships. This is any relationship. You have to nourish them. You have to feed them. You have to give them something. You have to give them love and attention. You have to. It is a living, breathing thing. It is. It exists. It is a noun. And you have to nourish it. What does nourishing your relationship mean? It means that you are caring for that person's needs. You're caring for their needs. You're making sure that you pay them attention. You're ensuring that you're taking care of them. And I'm telling you, queens, if you're with the right person, they will reciprocate. But you have to wake up every day with the intention to nourish your relationship, to prioritize it, to put in the effort to making it work. Relationships don't work because you decided to be together. They don't work just because you said, hey, we're together, we're in a relationship. They don't work because you walk down the aisle and you have a legal piece of paper. They don't work because you got a big ass ring. They don't work because you love each other. They just don't. They work because people work them. You have to put in the effort. What you want out of it is what you need to give into it. You don't get anything out of life that is beautiful, bountiful, and full of blessings that you don't have to put in some effort for. So the better you want it, the more you got to give it, period. All right, last but not least, here's the last tool that we're going to discuss in the toolbox, okay? And that is respect and patience. Oh my goodness. Y'all would think that like people would just know how to respect the boundaries of a relationship. Let me tell y'all something. So many people do not respect relationship boundaries, y'all. It's so confusing to me, I swear. People do not understand relationship boundaries. I really feel like that's why so many wives get called insecure. Oh, she's so insecure. No, honey, it's not insecure. It's boundaries. So many people just do not understand respect and boundaries. There's just certain things that when you're in a committed relationship, you just don't do. Man or woman, I don't care. It's just certain things you don't do. Now, let me say this as far as the respect thing. Respect is individually based. See, those are the things that you'll learn about your partner when you're communicating vulnerably and honestly and openly. You start learning what people's boundaries are, what makes them feel disrespected, and vice versa. Those are things that you have to talk about. And when you learn them, you respect them. You respect their boundaries. You respect how they feel. You respect some of their insecurities. You don't limit yourself, but limiting yourself and respecting someone else are two totally different things. Two totally different things, okay? And then the patience factor, y'all. It's so underrated in so many different aspects of life. Let me tell y'all something. I was the most impatient person I have ever met in my entire life. And in certain situations, I'm still super damn impatient. It is something that I continue to work on. I tell y'all all the time, I'm not perfect, okay? I'm on this podcast and I'm talking and I'm motivating and I'm spitting some knowledge or whatever, but guess what? I am not perfect. No one is perfect. We all are working on something. Every day for the rest of your life, you will be working on something. The key is to be able to acknowledge what it is that you're working on, what it is that you need to work on, what areas of your life do you need to grow. And there's still some little areas in my life where I'm not super patient. It just is what it is. I'm working on it, but other areas of my life, I have grown tremendously in patience. And in my relationship, that's one of them. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, I was so impatient. If y'all talk to my husband, he'll probably still tell y'all I'm super impatient. That's how he feels, y'all. And I'm not saying that he's not right. That's his perception. I can tell y'all this. I'm a lot more patient than I used to be. I'm telling y'all, my patience was like negative 7,284. Like literally, my patience just wasn't even on the damn specter. It was completely out. I had zero patience. And the only way that things started working out in my life, the only way that I was able to start manifesting things in my life that I wanted, the only way that I was able to start experiencing happiness and contentment and peace is to learn how to have patience. And the most important part to start with patience is to have patience with yourself. Because once you learn how to be patient with yourself, you automatically are able to be more patient with other people in other situations. I'm telling you, patience is a virtue. It's the key of life. It's actually what the last episode of last season was all about. It was about patience. I wrapped the season up with patience because I think it's so important, okay? It's one of those life hacks. I'm telling you, it's one of the things that can really take your life from where it is. If you're in some shit, if you're in some irritating situations, if you're trying to overcome some stuff, if you're irritated about where your life is and shit like that, I'm telling you, patience is the key, okay? So with that being said, queens, I hope you really enjoyed this episode. I'm going to say this. I cursed a lot in this episode, y'all. Now, I usually do curse a little bit, right? You know, I throw around some bombs here and there, okay? But that's just me. I gotta be myself. I can't be inauthentic. Like I can't be, muting myself or whatever. I gotta keep it real and be raw with y'all. I cursed a lot today. I think it's because usually when I record episodes, it's in the morning. So, I'm always pumped, but in the morning, I don't be as pumped. As the day goes on, y'all, I get more and more fired up. I done read all kinds of stuff today. I done listened to my motivational videos today. I done read my couple chapters in my book already for the day. I done did some work today. I'm all fired up, okay? So I'm not going to apologize for the extra curse words because like I said, that wouldn't be being real to myself, but I will just say that I did drop some extras in there today or whatever, okay? So I hope y'all still enjoy this episode despite a few extra little, curse words tossed around in there or whatever, okay? But anyway, y'all, I love y'all so much. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all mean the world to me. I can't wait to talk to you guys next week. Next week is going to be another dope episode. So make sure you tune in, guys. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram at All Queens Army. I love you guys so much. I will talk to you next week and I hope you have an amazing Monday. Talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.